Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And Spark are champions! Good on Pepe! Goal!
It doesn't get any better than that!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from Game in Frame. I'm your host, George Angelidis, your commentator, George Angelidis, where today we will feature a final regular season game of the CJSL U18 division between Eastern Queens FC 07 and Ramos Soccer International. Eastern Queens FC is a day of celebration for them, in which they have already mathematically won the division, regardless of the result here today, after a massive 3-2 win last week against New York Eagles FC, which crowned them as champions here. So far in the season, 6 wins and just 1 loss in their 7 games that they've played up to this point. Their last final regular season game today here at Astoria Park against Ramos International. Eastern FC Queens, who are on 18 points after those 6 said wins, and is rather tied on points with Success Academy, who are in second place, but have played their full complement of games. Of course, the head-to-head being the tiebreaker in this Cosmopolitan Junior Soccer League, and the head-to-head between Success Academy and Eastern FC Queens go the way of Eastern FC Queens, who beat Success Academy on May 18th with the scoreline of 2-0. So the head-to-head goes in their favor. They're tied on points, but regardless of the result here today, are already crowned mathematically champions of this CJSL U18 division. And of course, they also feature the best defense in the league, only conceding 7 goals in 7 games. So of course, champions of the division, a day of celebration for them here at Astoria Park. Their opposition, on the other hand, are trying to finish the year on a high note. Ramos Soccer International, who have a full squad, has to be said. A lot of players can try to find a win here today at Astoria Park over the champions of the said division, Eastern FC Queens. Of course, Ramos Soccer International will be sporting a blue kit with gold yellow lettering, if you'd like, and Eastern FC Queens will be in their all white kit. The 3-man crew is slowly preparing to enter the pitch. Final game here at Astoria Park for both of these sides in their Cosmopolitan Junior Soccer League. Of course, also too that eventually, I believe, if they want to, for that fact, will partake in a summer league, of course, being in the middle of June. The spring/fall seasons will conclude, and the sides that elect to play their football to continue their development, if you'd like, for future seasons or future ambitions, as these players are 18, 19 years old. Some will go on to feature in college or other clubs as well if they so choose, but game at a time. Of course, today, a final game in this regular season between Eastern FC Queens and Ramos Soccer International. Just some goalkeeping notes. Both sides actually might not begin with an out-and-out goalkeeper. I see a Ramos International player just sporting on a bib to begin the day in goal. On the other hand, Cáceres for Eastern FC Queens will begin in net. Their goalkeeper is soon yet to arrive when he does, we will introduce him as well. Guiti, the goalkeeper for Eastern Queens FC, but for the moment Cáceres will deputize, and so too will a goalkeeper for Ramos Soccer International. Just when I can glance at his number beyond the bib, I will introduce him as well. The two captains going over for a coin toss with the man in the middle. As we're on the way in a matter of seconds, as the referee's glancing at his watch, the ball is placed in the center circle. Ramos International will begin with possession, attacking from right to left, as we're underway here at Astoria Park, the final regular season game in this CJSL Cosmopolitan U18 division between Ramos International, who are in possession here in their blue kit with their yellow lettering, and Eastern Queens FC, the champions of the division, regardless of result here today, will be playing a game of celebration, if you'd like, as they have mathematically been crowned champions after 7 games, tied on points with Success Academy, who are in second place, level on points, but they do feature the head-to-head tie-break between Success Academy after their 2-0 victory over them on May 18th, about a month or so ago. Cáceres, who will, like we mentioned, deputize in the goal until the arrival of their goalkeeper. Turn on the halfway line. Ayora got a touch. Garcia back to Cáceres. Cáceres again back to Garcia, who has some space to drive into. Looks long and direct for the center forward, Vera, who has started up front for Eastern Queens FC. Captain for Ramos plays a nice weighted ball into the space, but a little bit overhit, and Cáceres can go on the very outskirts of his penalty area and collect. Captain for Ramos Soccer International, Chicazia, with the number 37, playing in an advanced midfield position. Little loose touch. Ball into the space. Thrown in towards Vera. Cleared away out to touch by Gonzalez. Long throw in towards Vera, bounces awkwardly, needs a clearance. A half clearance falls to the captain, who tries to bypass a couple, retaining his feet neatly with some clever footwork. Can already tell, as the offside flag goes up, you can already tell that the man wearing the captain's armband for Ramos Soccer International is a very industrious player. Will certainly try to find some spaces and some pockets to pick up the ball and create for his side, playing in advanced midfield, as we mentioned, but can also, I would assume, go back to help out the defense at times, in which he just did to play the ball forward, which was eventually called offside. We're going to have a quick substitution in goal for Ramos. Goalkeeper who was in the Ramos goal post was in fact Martinez, and he will now slot in at left back, I believe. So from between the goal post to left back for Martinez. Back to Cáceres. Has to be careful there with the high press. Finds a outlet. Ball just about remained in play. Lovely triangle. Garcia going around one, and the cover in time from Gonzalez to clear out into touch. Flicked into the area, cleared away for another throw-in. Clever little flick to produce a bit of panic in the Ramos 18-yard area. Eastern Queens again with Garcia. Diagonal service will just about find a teammate, but the cover in time for another throw-in from the other side. Abrego will take. Cleverly weighted to Garcia. Goalkeeper just had to spread himself, but it did ricochet off the outside of the back sanction, the back part of the post, and out for goal kick. Martinez forwards. Bit of pinball. Goalkeeper was coming off his line, but the defender just wanted to take action into his own hands and clear out for touch. We're gonna have another substitution after the next ball goes out of play. A lot of early 50-50s. Here's the captain driving into space, finding a nice pass into further more space. Ramos will now retain it in Eastern Queens defensive third and try to build something up. The pass deflected off a teammate. Martinez touch forward into space to the number 17 Garcia, but out of play. Another early substitution for Eastern Queens. I believe it's, it's Ramos will make a substitution. With the knee, couple of captain is certainly onside. He's bearing down on goal, trying to side foot his finish in, and he does with a clever touch to it, and the man that was offside certainly didn't interfere in the play. The third man run coming from the captain, who with a captain's finish will find the back of the net and open the scoring for Ramos Soccer International. Chikazia on the score sheet and leading by example. We noted him in the first 5 or so minutes. And certainly good advantage from the referee as the linesman rose the flag for the attacker that was offside but didn't interfere with the play. And coming from behind the last line was the captain to slot, opening the first goal for Ramos. Round, lovely triangle again from Eastern Queens. Lots of appeals, but there's the captain again. A lot of 50-50s. Back with Cáceres. Quite dangerous pass out, and certainly out of the two, Ramos, who found their lead through their captain, have began the more sprite of the two. Of course, it's quite difficult to play in a game where there's, in essence, nothing on the line, but Eastern Queens FC can also finish out the season. And then play towards Vera, the centre forward who's gone out to the right wing. Will play a clever ball to the left-hand side. Rego lifts it. Garcia lashes. But better from Eastern Queens. Into Martinez. Garcia goes over to press. Flores had a touch as well, and it falls to the other number 6. It's floated, and the goalkeeper will collect comfortably. The two number 6s there had a bit of interchange. There is Eastern Queens number 6, Avila, who won the first ball. The second ball will fall to who has been the man of the moment so far for Ramos, their captain, who opened the scoring. Has to be careful there. We'll find that line-splitting pass to his teammate, and the free kick. Berospi. No one fouled with number 28. Also, too, could mention that possibly there is some rotation in the Eastern Queens side. Possibly some players playing in a different position, or maybe, as I only see a couple on their bench. But today certainly the game to do that, as they are champions, I remind you. The deflection offside. Ball back, these Garcia into space to Vera, who's on a chase. Goalkeeper coming a long way off his line. Good decision just to put his foot through it. Ball reached the halfway line, give or take, and Garcia won the first ball. A thick 50-50 there. Martinez with length finds the center forward, whose touch just evades him a bit. Pombosa, and offside. Pombosa linked, and the third man run again from the captain. Here's another substitution at the center forward for Eastern Queens. Vera will come off, and a new center forward in Flores, who was asked to cushion it. Goalkeeper using his knuckle just to prevent the attacker from latching on. Good enough in the end. So Flores has replaced Vera at center forward for Eastern Queens, who trail 1-0 so far in this final regular season game in the CJSL U18 division. Just have to glance at a moment if Guiti has entered for Eastern Queens FC. Indeed, no, it's still Casares in the goal for Eastern Queens. Nonetheless, they have a throw in here in just above the halfway line in possession. Teased forward, Berospi, and the weighted pass into the channel. Garcia will cushion back to his goalkeeper, who actually began the game with out gloves. Now he has found a pair, but Flores, good first bit of action after coming off the bench, replacing Vera. Hacked forwards. Garcia, Casares is thinking about coming off his line and will play, in essence, like a field player, and to get out of that squabble almost, as Garcia has to go out to clear out into touch, but bit of calm work there, risk and reward if you'd like from Casares. Got away with it in the first instance, but Garcia came across to nudge the ball out of play for a Ramos throw-in, in which they deliberated it a little bit loosely. Garcia again. A couple of Garcias on Eastern Queens FC's roster, with the number 17 and with number 15. A attacking player with the 17 on the right-hand side, and a center midfielder or defender, I believe, actually playing at center back. Hacked into the space. be a free kick, indeed so. Of course, guys, today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's most freshest and advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount if you scan the QR code to get a 10% off discount. Keep it fresh as the Eastern Queens. We'll have another throw-in. Cáceres has to once again come off his line and act as a field player. Lovely touch. Forwards to Flores. Referee's whistle, free kick direct towards Flores and overhit. Comfortable for the goalkeeper for Ramos, who will get his team up the pitch and put his foot through it. Cáceres again coming a long way off his line. A risky decision, but his defense covers in time. Risen flag, offside. Couple of 50-50s there. Ball is nodded back to the center back, whose weight of pass is great. Gets stuck on the feet a bit. A shot comes in, and good idea, good bit of imagination just to take it on the half turn there from the man who's opened scoring for Ramos in the early minutes. Chikazia again tried his right foot. Overlap by Abrego, who's cutting it back towards a dangerous area. Ramos can come away with some transition, but a loose pass. Just needs a bit of calm from both sides in moments you can transition just to put your foot through it and rather retain the possession. Offside flag risen again, but Ramos certainly trying that ball into space over the quite high line at times of Eastern Queens FC. But more time than none, the offside flag has been risen on that far hand side. Eastern Queens trying the left hand side through Abrego, whose touch is a little loose, but they'll have a throw in. Popped into the air on the top of the box. A looping, delicate effort is finding the back of the net with sure and a bit of class, almost like a golf shot that found its way into the hole. A beautifully taken lob over the goalkeeper, and the equalizer for Eastern Queens FC. Delicate finish and an equalizer for the champions of the division, Berospi, with a bit of class. One all here at Astoria Park after Ramos hit the front through their captain. Berospi's delicate lob, the riposte for Eastern Queens FC. Cáceres again, off his line. And offside again. Substitutions for Eastern Queens. At the defense, Chuaca has come off. Let's see this action first, as a bit of press is being relayed on the goalkeeper. Guaman has entered at center back. That means Rivera has slided into right back. So a little bit of a change at the defense for Eastern Queens. They found their equalizer through a delicate lob by Berospi. Referee's whistle. Long vertical throw-in. Flores falls to the newly introduced right back. In that position, of course, he began the game at center back and has slotted out to right back now and teased in a dangerous cross that was eventually dealt with. A couple of coming togethers there in the middle of midfield. And back it'll go with the center back for Ramos, who trying one of those trademark long balls into the space. This one just a bit under hit. Now he has some possession at his feet. Gonzalez it was. At center back for Ramos. Of course, an overlap coming from Martinez. Again, Cáceres a long way off his line and will pop it up to his hands and distribute with the man who has come off the bench, Guaman. does find the goal scorer, Berospi. Lovely. Borrego driving. Borrego! Very good, quick transition from Eastern Queens. Borrego drove in the 1v1, tried his effort with the left foot, just bypassing the Ramos international goal. But good, swift, quick play from Eastern Queens in those transitions are very dangerous from back to front in a trice, if you'd like, and Borrego couldn't find his team second, but very good from both sides. It's certainly been a match of high intensity and both defenses have to be as sharp as possible, as the attacking is certainly precise at times. Another cross into the box, no takers on this instance, but Garcia once again asked the question from that right hand side. We remain at 1. Ramashana. Play out from the back. Berospi, what a save! The press was high. Berospi got just a little awkward little toe poke that was wobbling and moving, and an exemplary save by the man in the Ramos Soccer International goalpost. Strong wristed and cleared out into now what's going to be a set piece for their defense to attend to. It's going to be taken with outswing, served into the second post. Flores was underneath it, maybe ducked so his teammate can reload. Reloading and scoring he does. Borrego's delight for Eastern Queens' second goal. They now have hit the front. What an educated finish by the number 11, as the service fell to him, and without any other hesitation had a clear mind to collect his thoughts and place the ball delicately into the back of the net. He will now be replaced, and actually showing his teammates and our coaching staff how he found the back of the net. So the champions in front after trailing through a Chicazia opener for Ramos, who also are asking questions of their own. It's a very good game. As we mentioned, the last regular season game, there's always something to play for. There's pride, of course, and the thrill of winning for both sides, but as Eastern Queens are already champions, didn't really need anything from this game. And of course Ramos, on the other hand, began the game very well and are still asking questions of Cáceres and the Eastern Queens goal. But Eastern Queens FC have found 2 goals after trailing through Berospi and Borrego's delight just moments ago. Of course, guys, stay tuned for more Game in Frame action, as tonight we will feature Answers FC taking on American Soccer Club at 7 p.m. a NPSL North Atlantic conference in 2 days. Let's just see this action first, as it's going to eventually trickle to Cáceres, who will drop his shoulder and let the ball enter his penalty area before collecting. In 2 days from now, on the 17th, the big APSL promotion game between New York International and Leros at Randall's Island Field 10 at 8 p.m. The winner of that will play their football next year in the APSL with the big guns of the New York Pan Cyprians, the New York Greek Americans, Lansdowne, Doksha, all those high quality teams in the APSL. A big game for those two sides on Tuesday night. Furthermore, after that on the 18th, Ironbound SC will take on Cedar Stars. Rush at 7:30, a USL 2 Metropolitan Division matchup. Of course, stay tuned for more game and frame action as we've entered the month of June, but there are still many very important games in this beautiful season that we had here. Will be cleared out with one touch. Captain with an exemplary touch. It got stuck under his feet a bit. A shot comes in from a long way away. The corner kick. Berospi again. Eastern Queens scored from their last set piece, a second ball falling to Abrego. This time from the other side, going to be taken with outswing. Trying to find the second post. Flores runs out of pitch. More substitutions for Eastern Queens. Vera will re-enter, who began the game at center forward. Will slot back in there in the number 9 position. Just had another substitution. I just gotta gather who it is. I believe it's the reintroduction of the number 35 Chakwa. Chakua, if you'd like. Long throw. Cleared. Once, twice. Vera's flick finds Garcia. Will just drop the shoulder. Lovely bit of footwork, but a good slide tackle. Coming in from Martinez. Referee just having a word with the linesman. Maybe the goal was Rospi. Good spread at the first post. Rospi trying to find the second on the afternoon after his equalizer. Flores, who now will slide in at left back. Fera trying to latch on. Needs 2 attempts there. Garcia. Flores. Flores tries a little toe poke. Neat idea, trying to just hit it on the half step. As we entered the 39th minute here at Astoria Park. Eastern Queens FC in the lead, as Ramos making a, I believe, a triplet of substitutions. 6 or so minutes left in this first half here at Astoria Park. The champions of the division, Eastern Queens FC, found themselves trailing, but found 2 goals of their own to hit the front. One through Beroshpi, and the second coming from Abrego. Five or so minutes left in this first half. Casares, who has remained in goal. We had word of possibly another goalkeeper in Guiti to play under the goalposts of Eastern Queens, but Casares, although I would assume he isn't the goalie, has done very well. Obviously, if he is a field player, he's certainly adept with his feet, and he's showed that. Free kick for Ramos. Teased into the area. Out comes the goalkeeper and collects. Will bowl it out to his defender. First pass in the heart of the midfield, of course. Just have to be careful there. Headed down, only finds the number 6 for Ramos, who plays a first-time ball to the captain, who was offside. Just signaling for the ball to be stationed in the correct location. Guaman, Flores, little loose. Some transition now for Eastern Queens. Garcia has a couple of runners ahead of him. Flores was on the sprint. Vera, Garcia, Flores. Offside in the end, but advantage will be played. Hoofed forward towards the captain. Chikazia. And out of play for a Ramos throw-in, as a light drizzle has began here at Astoria Park. You can see the high line again. Certainly, I would assume, a staple of Eastern Queens FC. They've only conceded 7 goals, now 8 in the season, in about 7.5 matches of football. So certainly with risk and reward, that high line. But here is Casares. Will find a white shirt, and they can once again try to build out. Toe poked out of play. Some last minutes here in this first half. Vera cushions. Vera stretching. Will be out of play for a corner kick. Good center forward play from the number 47, who found himself in the left-hand channel and won his side a set piece. Possibly another route of danger, as it's going to be taken with outswing. Again to the second post. It'll fall all the way to Flores, coming across his Martinez. Flores on Flores there. Little loose, dangerous pass. Flores entering the box, trying to find the second ball. Goalkeeper is plunging at it. Will just about remain in play. Maybe a clearance is necessary. First ball, Berospi. Dropping the shoulder is Gavilanes. He retains the possession. Serves one flick to the second post, probably offside. Nonetheless, a good spread in the end from the goalkeeper, and that is the final action in this first half between Eastern Queens FC, the champions of the division, and Ramos Soccer International, who began the game very impressively, finding a goal through Chikazia, their captain, their leading man from the midfield, who found his way and opened the scoring for Ramos Soccer International. We're posted by a goal from Berospi and one from Abrego after a set piece. At halftime here at Astoria Park, Eastern Queens FC 2, Ramos Soccer International 1.
Chavez tries to go through the legs of Richmond. Richmond stuffs him down. And through three! Through, my goodness! Nutmeg after nutmeg for the captain.
Aim towards finding the second goal of the match. Nika gets the back ball. Nika swerves past three defenders. He finds the shot from Afif, and they find that goal that they were looking for. Afif scores a 2-1 lead for Red Hook FC. What a move there by Mika once again to create an opening for his team.
Thompson turns that clearance into a pass.
Lovely footwork from Bailey Hill.
And what's Nicky? What a ball that is, and Jack Stainrod has brought it down. He might be in here. Jack Stainrod, 2. Give him a sight of goal, and he will bite your hand off. It was a sensational ball by Jacob Woznicki. And once Jack Stainrod was in behind, was there any doubt as to the outcome?
Another drive here. First Cedar Stars rush denied by the Staten Island Monarchs. As Jaheim Foston stares back at his opponent, having out-dribbled him first. Foston putting on a show. This is starting to look like street soccer now.
And still now everyone hacking at it, chopping at it. Ridge Robinson, he lunges forward, he comes up with the ball, he goes for the shot! And he goes for the goal. My goodness, a hat trick here for the captain.
Anderson brought down, back up on his feet. Anderson, oh, beautiful move, he's still going! Draganjor Yangbi. Yangbi shows off some pace behind Obaru. Yangbi could be one-on-one. McGovern comes over. Yangbi scores it! Espinosa! 1-0! Yangbi a debut assist, and Espinosa has his 7th goal of the season. He has the last 2 goals overall for Richmond, and they get the counter going like they did last week against a team that has much more possession than them, and they've scored to open up the match and make it 1-0.
As now Matthew Heath puts his ball into the air. Good first touch by Olivier Karbovnik. Karbovnik somehow sambas his way past a trio of Monarchs.
Solomon's able to turn, and he finds Nelson Reynoso, who whips it. What a ball that is! Equaliser for Meadowville! A peach of a cross by Nelson Reynoso! And applying the finish, Bolt Hazard Saunders with precision. And look at the fans, I want to meet to them. And the referee's getting the start done. That's a lovely pirouette by Pardini.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Welcome back, guys, for the second half here at Astoria Park, where Eastern Queens FC, the champions of division, lead 2-1 after trailing in one moment in the match, but found 2 goals of their own to find the lead at the halftime interval. As we're underway here in the second half, a couple of substitutions for Eastern Queens. Here's one of them. Adaus with the number 39 and Kodalos on the left-hand side with the number 61 have been introduced at halftime. Believe, get to that point in a second, I believe I've seen the number 39 in a previous game that I've covered. Daus, a player of real quality, has to be said. See this action first for Ramos, and the equalizer from Ramos. The ball fell gently to the number 40 for Ramos Soccer International. Larry Altamarino equalizes for Ramos. 2-2. Cáceres, who stayed in goal for Eastern Queens FC. Cleared. Here's Adaus. Goalkeeper coming a long way off his line, but defending it to be done in the end. Bit of pinball. Needs a sufficient clearance. A couple of half clearances. Flores overhits Kobalos. Flick from Flores. Garcia. Just a bit overhit, the center back can try to clear lines. Falls to a Daus, who is dispossessed by the captain, who's driving forward. Picks up his head, serves it into space. Just a little under hit, rather, for Cruz, and back to Casares. Garcia, pressed by Cruz. Good press from Ramos International in the beginning of the second half, of course. They found the goal early in the first half, and they found now so the equalizer early in the second half. 2-2 in a game in which, of course, there is certainly always something to play for. But Eastern Queens FC, like we mentioned in the pre-match and a couple times throughout the broadcast, are the champions of the division. Maybe a handball, an appeal there. Flores will pick up his head and serve diagonally with correct weight. Entering the box, cutting back. Goalkeeper is making a decision to come a long way off his line, and awkwardly in the end will trickle out for a goal kick. Cleared. Cordalos cuts it, and it's in. Lovely cutback by the number 61 and a one-time finish. Actually, there was a hole in the net, but that ball 100% went through the goal, and Eastern Queens FC will retake the lead. Lovely cutback from the substitute Cordalos and a one-time finish from the man stationed in a dangerous area in the heart of the Ramos International. Penalty area, 3-2, Eastern Queens lead. Topsy-turvy kind of game. Of course, probably the one thing that we can say is that there aren't any nerves for either side, of course. It being the last game of the season, can just go out and enjoy your last 90 minutes of this Cosmopolitan CJSL U18 division. A looping shot comes in from the captain, who isn't afraid to try his right foot. Villa won the first ball. Here is Cordalos, whose wonderful assist led to a tap-in for Eastern Queens' third goal. Out of play. Avila dispossessed towards Cruz, who has some space to work with. Stood up by couple of defenders, cushions it back to the goal scorer of Ramos' second goal, whose pass is out of play. Altamarino with number 40 on his back wins the possession back. Cruz cushions. Chikazia back to Cruz. Served into the penalty area, but defended in the end. Free kick for Adrus. Corner kick for Eastern Queens. Really a lot of options in that penalty area. Avila tacks it off the teammate, but Ramos will have a throw-in. Good watch of football, it has to be said, with a lot of goals, back and forth, go both sides. Really certainly are enjoying their last match in this CJSL regular season. Both sides conclude their seasons today here after an 8-game season, mini season if you'd like. They will probably go on to feature in a summer league or something along of those lines, as we mentioned in the pre-match. Let's just see this action first as it's cut back. There was a bit of contact, but the ball trickling out for a goal kick, as of course these players on the pitch about 17, 18, even going on 19, will probably go on to, if they choose, play in college or for another club. So the summer is an important one at that, and can focus here on their last game before possibly a bit of recovery, and to go again if you'd like in some weeks, some months, or if they play of course for a summer league team that they will of course figure out. But we continue here with the ball into space and out of play. Couple of substitutions for Eastern Queens. At defense again, they've certainly rotated that defense. Here is Abrego, the two 11s in a duel. Abrego driving, bypassing one, but his touch overhit and pumped forwards. Flores first time. Abrego's demanding for the possession. There's an overload on the left-hand side if they can find a little triangle. Still circulating on the right-hand side. The cross comes in, and a bit of awkward pass out there. Again, the overlap coming from the right-hand side. Teased into the second post. A shot, it's certainly wobbling a bit. Goalkeeper had to apply the knuckles to it. Cruz. Game of transition certainly in the second half, and so to some moments in the first. Cruz will run out of pitch. Referee's whistle after the substitutions. Of course, you can, at this level, you can sub freely at any given moment, as many substitutions as you want. So rotation and having a deep squad is very important, of course. But like we mentioned, Eastern Queens FC can also rotate and possibly try different things as the pressure is off them. Mathematically, they are the champions of the division, can test and try some new things to sample a bit, some new positions for their squad, maybe for next year as the flag is risen. Of course, guys, today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount of 10% if you scan the QR code. Keep it fresh. Throw in for Eastern Queens. Daus back. Daus with a clever flick to Oberego into the channel. He continues his movement into the penalty area. Goalkeeper again coming off his line. Swiveling was Oberego, couldn't turn and get a shot off. Daus, who I mentioned previously before International's equalizer. I've seen him play before in a CJSL match. A man of real quality. Of course, the deep-lying playmaker, if you'd like, is in possession now. Number 39 tries to float one to the left-hand side. Cruz now. I remember back then, let's just see this action first. Ball roll. Floated in awkwardly. A shot and just trickling wide. Kodalos almost added to his assist with a goal of his own, and almost the fourth for Eastern Queens FC. Will remain at 3-2 for the champions, as some substitutions. Vera will replace Flores. Vera, who began the game at center forward, I remind you now, will probably play a little bit further back in the midfield. So like we mentioned, can try some things out and rotate positions. Will be behind Daus. A couple of 50-50s. Berospi, who's been an impressive fixture to the Eastern Queens side. Gavilanes with the left foot as the second post. It's overhit for Kodalos. Had a play for Ramos throw-in. Daus using his body well, dropping the shoulder once, twice, still in possession. With the sole of the boot, will try to formulate the triangle. Trying the left-hand side again through the fullback who's venturing forward now. Abrego dropping the shoulder, driving byline, and losing his footing. 65 minutes gone here at Astoria Park. A back and forth type of game. Eastern Queens will now make a change in goal. Cáceres, who deputized, will be replaced by, I believe that's Flores, who's strapping on the gloves. Indeed, so the number 32 Flores will go in goal, and Cáceres will take off his black top and presumably enter the pitch and play about 20 or so minutes in the field. Flores actually has discarded the gloves and playing without, but high press, a Daus controls once and twice. The next goal is certainly very important here. A Daus, clever flick. Shot comes in, and the standing goalkeeper using his foot to save Flores with a block with his foot. Corner kick for Ramos, taken quickly by a couple of players that were lined up near the corner flag. Chikazia got his service in. Crossfield pass intercepted. Vera will pick it up. Cushions to a Daus. A Daus grass cutter. Abrego battling with two and wins aside a throw-in. Daus, Abrego's movement, good weight of pass, he's stretching. Goalkeeper again a long way off his line and going to ground for a corner kick. See if Eastern Queens will play it short. Indeed, so Martinez gets a touch. Out into touch for a throw-in. Gavilanes dispossessed. A Daus. Rivera flicked around the corner. There, Ruspi out into touch. And the referee will signal Ramos ball. Some space for Ramos to drive into now. Guaman was there to intercept the forward's pass. Popped into the air. Here is Cáceres, who's first touch. Cáceres actually will be wearing the number 42. He's wearing a black kit with the number 49. Here he is in possession. So that is indeed Cáceres, whose clever little flick finds his winger, but out of play. Dausch. Brego exchanging with the number 39. Trying to overload the left-hand side now. Back to Flores. Dangerous. You don't want to play a 1-2 when you're the goalkeeper if you'd like, but I understand the idea as the couple of field players that were in the goal for Eastern Queens FC have certainly been adept with their feet, understandably so, if they deputized for this match for Kuwaiti, who we haven't seen so far. Offside. Brego waiting for the overlap, serving it to the fullback who's marauding his way forward, driving onto the right foot. Cutting it back to Brego, has a little glance over his shoulder, surveys and elects to find Rivera. Out of play. Kazia driving on Guaman. Brego again. Cáceres' movement. Look at the goalkeeper's positioning. Vera leaves it for Dausch. Clever pirouette, retains his feet, using his body well. Service is floated over Berospi. Vera back to Dausch. Will try his left foot. Vera going over. No penalty kick. Free kick. Garcia to a douse, ball roll. Shot, and knuckles were applied. Out of play for a corner kick. Almost the fourth, and really the next goal doesn't have to be noted, is of significant importance. Overhit for the second post. Ramos trying to drive away with possession. Kodalos runs out of pitch. Abrego and Berospi try to interchange. Of course, guys, stay tuned for more game and frame action. Tonight we will feature Onsers FC taking on American Soccer Club at 7 p.m. NPSL North Atlantic matchup. Tuesday night, the big APSL promotion game between New York International of the Cosmopolitan First Division and Leros of the LISFL as Abrego lashes over at 8 p.m. at Randall's Island. The winner of that will play their football next year in the APSL. On the 18th, Ironbound SC will take on Cedar Stars Rush at 7:30 p.m. a USL 2 Metropolitan Division matchup. Of course, live here on Game in Frame. Ramos trying to play out of the back. There's one of the two goal scorers that was dispossessed there. Abrego, a goal scorer as well. Cáceres flicks. One touch, a douse. Filtering on this left-hand side. Slide tackle comes in, a clean one at that. Hack towards Vera. First control with the chest, second with the head. It fell to a douse after. Clever little nutmeg by the number 11. A douse. Quite congested here. Chikazia driving on Guaman. Here is the captain. Isolated, clever footwork. Guaman stuck to the task, however, and dispossessed. Here he is in possession now. Cáceres. Nodding it back. That was clever flick. Second post. Berospi was throwing his body on the line. Got a bit of contact on it, but just beyond the post. Some more substitutions. Another substitution in goal for Eastern Queens. This is their third goalkeeper of the day. Let's just glance who it is. I believe it's the number 35, Chakua, who will replace Flores. So Cáceres began the game, then Flores, and now Chakua will wear the gloves for Eastern Queens FC. There was also a couple of substitutions on the pitch. Flores, who gets a touch here. Cruz. Altamarino. The outside of the foot to Martinez. Referee's flag is down. And a chance for an equalizer. Brave goalkeeping by just entered the goal post for Eastern Queens. Chakua showing rather his bravery in the action there, just a dive on the ball with some boots flying. Here is Abrego, who just had a little glance of water to refresh himself here on this near hand sideline, and certainly refreshed and ambitious. Daus. More substitutions as we're entering in the 82nd minute. About 8 minutes left in this final game of the regular season for both sides. We remain at 3-2. Let's see if Ramos can find an equalizer, and or if Eastern Queens can hold on or score the fourth, which would probably be enough to confirm these 3 points after a very good watch of football, it has to be said. Ramos found the lead through the man in possession previous, who passes a little loose. Daus has to latch onto it, stretching his body and using it well to retain. Cáceres. Ramos found the lead, then Eastern Queens found 2 goals of their own to bring it back to 2-1. Then Altamarino equalized early in the second half, and soon after that a third goal for Eastern Queens. Let's see if there's an action here. The goalkeeper has to come away and use his foot, controlled with the chest by Daus. Cruz battling with Daus. Cruz again. Garcia, the 1, and eventually the 2 by Cáceres, but thrown in with length by Gonzalez. Cleared. Cáceres cushions. Just stood on the ball there. Daus pirouetting and swiveling away from danger. Will find Guaman. Back to Daus. Abrego. Ball roll again. Cáceres flicking. Quite intricate at times. Certainly you see why Eastern Queens FC have finished the year at the top of the table. Goalkeeper collects. Puts his foot through it. Here's a chance for the fourth. Goalkeeper again a long way off his line, a lobbing dink. Penalty kick. As the shot came in, there was some contact on the follow through. The referee, of course, in a good position. Cáceres, the one who won the penalty kick, excuse me. It's going to be Gavilanes to step up for Eastern Queens FC. Eyeball to eyeball with the Ramos goalkeeper. Referee just having a quick word to the linesman. Don't think the decision is going to change. Indeed, it is not. Just making sure all the players do not encroach. Gavilanes, left-footed. Gavilanes. Over. And, certainly it's nice to see the smiles on the faces, but he did step up with his left foot and got too much contact on it. Certainly applauded by his teammates. It's a nice sight to see, of course, the togetherness of the squad, and you can see why they have been so effective the whole year. To this point, before this game, have only conceded 7 goals. Now 9 in 8 games, give or take, with this game trickling and the seconds and minutes finishing here in this Cosmopolitan CJSL U18 division. Here's Gavilanes. Cáceres stands on it. A douse. Can Ramos find an equalizer? After the missed penalty by Eastern Queens, Guaman goes over. Cruz has to drop back in. Gavilanes. Altamirano over to force Kodalos backwards and to the center back. Line splitting. There he is again. Substitution certainly at half. Certainly made a difference for Eastern Queens. Adaus and Kodalos, who entered at half. Dropping the shoulders, Gavilanes it was. Here's Cáceres. Cáceres using his body awkwardly, and it's in from an impossible angle. Cáceres, beautifully taken. Maybe a shot cross in the end, but from an impossible angle, finds the fourth with a cool, calm, and collected finish in the end. The man who began the game in goal, finishing in that very goal as a center forward from a crazy angle. 4-2, more so importantly, and that is probably enough for Eastern Queens FC, who certainly have been pushed today by Ramos Soccer International, who, I remind you, began the game in the lead and have played some good stuff throughout. 4-2 now in favor of Eastern Queens, the champions. Back it'll go with the goalkeeper. Hacked into the air. And that is the final whistle here at Astoria Park. Eastern Queens FC, your champions of this CJSL U18 division, finishing off on a high note. 4-2 final score here at Astoria Park. Eastern FC 4, Ramos Soccer International 2. A game of a good watch. Certainly both sides gave everything. A good, intense game of football in the last regular season game here in this CJSL U18 division. Eastern FC, your champions, and will finish out the year with a furthermore 3 points. Let's stick around just for a pre-match interview with the champions.
Ramos tries to go through the legs of Richmond. Richmond stuffs him down. And through three! Through, my goodness! Nutmeg after nutmeg for the captain.
Aim towards finding the second goal of the match. Nika gets the back ball. Nika swerves past 3 defenders. He finds the shot from Afif, and they find that goal that they were looking for. Afif scores a 2-1 lead for Red Hook FC. What a move there by Nika once again to create an opening for his team.
Thompson turns that clearance into a pass. Lovely footwork from Bailey Hill.
And was Nicky, what a ball that is, and Jack Stainrod has brought it down. He might be in here. Jack Stainrod, 2! Give him a sight of goal and he will bite your hand off. It was a sensational ball by Jacob Woznicki. And once Jack Stainrod was in behind, was there any doubt as to the outcome?
Another drive here for Cedar Stars rush denied by the Staten Island Monarchs. As Jaheim Foston stares back at his opponent, having out-dribbled him first. Foston putting on a show. This is starting to look like street soccer now.
And still now everyone hacking at it, chopping at it. Ridge Robinson, he lunges forward, he comes up with the ball, he goes for the shot! And he goes for the goal. My goodness, a hat trick here for the captain.
Anderson brought down, back up on his feet. Anderson, oh, beautiful move. He's still going. Draganjor, Yangbi. Yangbi shows off some pace behind Oberuk. Yangbi could be one-on-one. McGovern comes over. Yangbi scores it. Espinosa, 1-0. Yangbi a debut assist, and Espinosa has his 7th goal of the season. He has the last 2 goals overall for Richmond, and they get the counter going like they did last week against a team that has much more possession than them, and they've scored to open up the match and make it 1-0.
As now Matthew Heath puts his ball into the air. Good first touch by Olivier Karbovnik. Karbovnik somehow sambas his way past a trio of Monarchs.
Sullivan's able to turn, and he finds Nelson Reynoso, who whips it in. What a ball that is! Equaliser for Meadowville! A peach of a cross by Nelson Reynoso! And applying the finish, Bolt Hazard Saunders with precision. And look at the fans, I want to meet to them. And the referee is getting started down. That's a lovely pirouette by Pardini.
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and it helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game & Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Ramos tries to go through the legs of Richmond. Richmond stuffs him down. And through three! Through, my goodness! Nutmeg after nutmeg for the captain.
Aim towards finding the second goal of the match. Nika gets the back ball. Nika swerves past three defenders. He finds the shot from Afif, and they find that goal that they were looking for. Afif scores a 2-1 lead for Red Hook FC. What a move there by Nika once again to create an opening for his team.
Thompson turns that clearance into a pass. Lovely footwork from Bailey Hill.
And what's Nicky? What a ball that is, and Jack Stainrod has brought it down. He might be in here. Jack Stainrod!
Welcome back, guys. Your CJSL U18 champions, Eastern Queens FC. I'm joined here by Jeremy, Gavilanes, and Berospi. I'm going to begin with congratulating you guys. Of course, you were the champions before this game, and this game was a game of celebration, like we mentioned in the pre-match. Just talk to me a little bit about how was the season. You guys were champions with one game less played on the year. Just talk to me about the whole body of work in the season.
We had a couple of guys that when we were here, some guys didn't show up, some guys did. It varied on the game. We had a couple games that we struggled, a couple games that we didn't. It was just a great season. All the guys came together, put in work. We all put in the work together. It showed in the pitch.
And of course, we saw, of course, throughout moments of the game, and I'm sure you guys showed this throughout the whole season. You guys have a real different quality, a lot of different ways of playing. You also played with 3 different goalkeepers today. I'm sure that was fun for Flores and Cáceres, and I forgot one other one. But it goes to show you that everyone could step into different positions. Of course, I saw Vera play through the middle, played in the middle of midfield. Talk to me a little bit about that, your flexibility as a team, because also too we saw that you guys had a very deep roster today.
Yeah, today we had a bunch of guys that were just doing well, and all our guys are very talented, we could flexible, like you said. We can move into different positions. All of us play at a high level, so when we all come together, we just have fun and we move positions, and we're all comfortable on the field. And we know we're comfortable in ourselves and our talent, so we know we could play different positions and do different things. So yeah.
Very well said. And Berospi, you guys were trailing in the game at one point in the first half. Your beautifully taken goal made it 1-1. What did you see in that finish? Because it looked like it was just, you knew what you were going to do before you did it, and the ball found its way to the back, and then with an elegance to it.
I don't know. It just felt natural. It takes a lot of shots to do that.
That's something that you do. You're in the middle of midfield. You were, of course, up and down the whole midfield. You were running up and down. You have different styles to your game, if you'd like, right?
Yeah, different styles.
And talk to me a little bit about, of course, you guys are the champions of this division after 8 games in the season. What is next for you guys? What's going to be the summer like? What's going to be the celebrations like? What is this? Because it seems that you guys are a very organized and good team, of course, and more so on top of that, a family. I saw everyone smiling and really enjoying the game throughout moments of it.
We're talking about a barbecue and 2 more tournaments in the summer.
I wish you guys all the best of luck, of course, in those tournaments. And a final point. And a final point, guys. Next year, what does this team look like? And I'll ask this question to both of you guys. What does Eastern Queens mean for you guys?
It means a lot because a lot of us have grown up on this team. We went from kids, 13-year-olds, 12-year-olds when we were little kids, to now being 18, going to college. So we don't know what the future will hold. It's just, we got to see. Let's see what the
One day at a time.
One day at a time. And now that you mentioned college, I wish you guys the best of luck if you guys elect to go to play to college, and hope to see you guys around next year and further years in this very good club that you guys have at Eastern Queens FC. Congratulations again on the title, and all the best. Your champions for the CJSL U18 division, Eastern Queens FC, victorious today here at Astoria Park with a final score defeating Ramos International 4-2. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your CJSL U18 champions, Eastern Queens FC.